Josh Duggar whines about being broke in prison with only 20 cents as family stops sending him money. Josh Duggar, once the privileged eldest son of the Duggar dynasty that rose to fame on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, is now facing a humiliating downfall as he reportedly whines about being broke in prison, claiming that his commissary account has dwindled to a mere 20 cents and that his family has stopped sending him financial support. A devastating twist for the man who once lived in the comfort of fame, family wealth, and public praise, but is now left to grapple with survival in the harsh environment of federal prison, where money on the books means the difference between small comforts and utter deprivation. Insiders reveal that Josh's complaints have become a running theme among those around him, with his repeated insistence that he has been abandoned by his parents Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, the same parents who once shielded him through scandal after scandal, building a public narrative that portrayed him as a redeemed Christian man despite mounting controversies. Now, however, that narrative has collapsed entirely after his conviction on child pornography charges that left even loyal supporters reeling and forced the Duggar empire into crisis. Josh, sentenced to over 12 years behind bars, has discovered that prison life strips away the protective cushions of celebrity and privilege, leaving him in a system where personal funds deposited by family or friends are the only means of obtaining necessities beyond the basic bare minimum provided by the prison. Commissary purchases like hygiene products, toothpaste, deodorant, soap, instant noodles, coffee, or even stamps for letters are funded through these accounts. And with only 20 cents left, Josh is essentially destitute, his sense of humiliation magnified by the fact that fellow inmates mock his complaints, pointing out that many prisoners survive with nothing at all, and that his whining about being broke exposes his lifelong entitlement. His family, according to sources, has largely grown wearied of sending him money. After months of providing financial support for commissary and absorbing enormous legal bills that drained their once steady resources, Jim Bob and Michelle, once the architects of the Duggar empire and vocal defenders of their eldest son during earlier scandals, appear to have shifted focus to protecting their remaining family members and distancing the Duggar brand from Josh's ongoing disgrace. Anna Duggar, Josh's wife and the mother of his 7 children, has continued to visit him when possible, but is said to be struggling severely with finances, raising her children largely alone, relying on extended family, and facing relentless public scrutiny for her decision to remain loyal to Josh despite his crimes. She reportedly sends what little she can, but cannot afford to keep replenishing his commissary account as she barely manages household needs for her children. This tension between Josh's expectations and Anna's reality has fueled speculation online about whether she will ever separate herself from him, though for now she remains steadfastly committed. Critics online have been relentless in pointing out the irony of Josh's current situation, reminding audiences that the Duggar family once displayed an image of abundance, self-sufficiency, and joy, with episodes of the show featuring Michelle Duggar shopping for her massive family with overflowing carts, children laughing as they enjoyed trips and outings, and Jim Bob confidently speaking about the blessings of a large family. Yet the truth beneath that image has unraveled spectacularly, exposing financial strain, internal fractures, and hypocrisy. And now Josh, who once enjoyed the privileges of television checks, book royalties, political connections, and parental protection, is reduced to the indignity of complaining about 20 cents. The fall is so steep that it has become emblematic of the broader collapse of the Duggar empire itself. Prison insiders say Josh has tried to maintain a public facade of spiritual strength, leading Bible studies among inmates and insisting that he is standing firm in faith. Yet privately, he is said to be crumbling under the weight of his circumstances, increasingly bitter about his financial abandonment and desperate for attention from family. Even as visits and letters reportedly decline, this sense of isolation has intensified his whining about money, as he sees financial support not only as a means of comfort, but also as proof of loyalty and care from those on the outside. With each passing week that his account remains near empty, he interprets it as further evidence of betrayal. Online commentators have dissected the financial angle with great intensity, noting that Jim, Bob, and Michelle still appear to live comfortably and suggesting that their decision to stop funding Josh is not about inability, but about optics and strategy, distancing themselves publicly from their disgraced son, while still maintaining private contact when convenient. Some speculate that cutting off financial support is their way of forcing Josh to confront reality and accept responsibility. Others argue it is a tactical move to reduce media criticism, that they are coddling him even after conviction. Whatever the reason, the image of Josh with only 20 cents has captured attention because it symbolizes the collapse of entitlement. A man who once had every resource now left with virtually nothing, his humiliation compounded by the knowledge that his family, who once spoke so proudly of values and unity, now leaves him to beg for commissary money like any other inmate. Critics of the Duggars say this is poetic justice, noting that for years scandals were brushed aside. From reports of Josh's molestation of siblings and family friends to the Ashley Madison cheating scandal, each time the family sought to rehabilitate his image, preaching forgiveness while shielding him from true accountability. Now the wall of protection has finally cracked and Josh faces consequences in ways he never imagined. Not only in the loss of freedom, but also in the loss of financial privilege. For Anna Duggar, the burden is perhaps even greater. She has become the reluctant face of loyalty, standing by her husband publicly despite the criticism. Her visits to prison have been scrutinized, her financial struggles pitied, and her decisions judged by thousands online who wonder why she continues to tether herself to a man whose crimes have destroyed her family's reputation. Yet Anna, bound by deep-rooted faith and family ideology, appears unwilling to abandon Josh, even as her children grow up under the shadow of his crimes. The reality that she cannot keep him afloat financially has only heightened Josh's whining, as he sees her devotion but resents her inability to send more funds. Meanwhile, the broader Duggar family has largely retreated from public life, only surfacing occasionally on social media or through court updates. The once lucrative TLC empire gone. Speaking engagements dried up, book deals fading, and scandals overshadowing every attempt to move forward. The Duggar name has become synonymous with hypocrisy, secrecy, and disgrace, and Josh's plight in prison serves as the most visible reminder of their fall. The image of Michelle Duggar shopping joyfully for her large family years ago contrasts painfully with the image of her son, now unable to buy even basic hygiene items. Critics say this is not just irony, but a revelation of the hollowness of the television narrative that sold millions on the idea of wholesome Christian family perfection. In reality, the fractures were always there, hidden beneath smiles and Bible verses. And now they are laid bare for all to see. Josh's whining about being broke is therefore more than a petty complaint. It is a symbol of collapse, of illusions shattered, of entitlement stripped away, of a man who once believed he was above consequences finally brought to his knees by both justice and abandonment. He is left with only 20 cents in a world where even a candy bar costs more. A pitiful number that tells a story of disgrace more powerfully than any sermon. His downfall is not only his own, but also that of the Duggar brand, once upheld as the pinnacle of faith and family, now remembered as a cautionary tale of hypocrisy, scandal, and the dangers of unchecked privilege. Josh Duggar's fate is sealed by the bars of his prison and the abandonment of his family's wallet. His story a reminder that no empire, no matter how pious it appears on television, can protect against the consequences of truth. The man who once had everything is now left with 20 cents, and the whining that accompanies it is the only echo of a fallen legacy that once captivated millions, but now stands as a monument to disgrace. Thanks